So Fragadelphia became that lesser tournament, that path that you need to do. I'm just really satisfied with our growth. It was amazing how we started with 16 and got to 52. We're really consistently hitting that kind of 40-ish level, which is, I think it's great. So if you look at our event, the age group, we're looking at having from a 34-year-old to a 16-year-old in terms of player base. We have players who have played in this tournament since the first event. That's 6.5 years ago. Granted, that team of older guys didn't advance. I mean, they probably all have jobs, they have other things to do. But the fact that they came back and they wanted to play this tournament really shows that we're getting to that level of, I would call it, nostalgia and camaraderie you have kind of with adult sports. You know, like the beer league's hockey team, the dads all come together and they play on like a Tuesday night.
And it's become such a big event in the open land circuit that everyone knows everyone's going to be here. It's sort of like FOMO. They don't want to miss out on the opportunity to just go and see everybody and play some CS.
There is a relationship here, a guy and a girl who met each other here that are now dating and live with each other. Like, that is all come from Fragadelphia. If that is an example of what this culture is, I think we've done a really good job, and it makes me really happy and warm. It is a family.
One of the things that makes Fragadelphia really awesome is we've watched a lot of professional players come through as amateurs, so they're on their rise to the top, and we've seen the same in broadcast. We've had multiple broadcasters who came into a Fragadelphia event with zero broadcast experience, who are now actually across the world in another country, casting another event in a large arena, and they got their start at Fragadelphia.
As we always thought, the whole phrase "a rising tide raises all ships," we think that is key to just esports in general. The ecosystem needs to grow. So we've always given our advice or time for free, which is, in a standard business model, not a good idea, but it's allowed us to become this community pillar. We throw a tournament, 52 people or teams show up. Someone else tries to do that same thing and doesn't even get 16. So the accessibility element, we helped, I think, progress the North American Counter-Strike scene into we actually helped rebirth it, if you really think it that way. We've seen, pros and guys who are on the cusp of being pros win the events. We've seen the consistency of the competition, the quality of play rise. I think because we've become a consistent pillar of what this is, you're seeing more and more teams come out here and try to learn. You learn so much faster when you come to a LAN tournament, and that allows, people to witness it, they see it, they watch it, they get to try to emulate it themselves, and that just keeps rolling forward. I think in all sports in general, and that's not just video games, the guys who play now in the NBA in 2019 are bigger, faster, stronger, and more technologically influenced than the people who played in the 70s. Same thing happened to Fragadelphia from 2014. The guys who came that day with their bring your own computer to that tournament in March of 2014 are very different than the guys who are coming now to December of 2019. They're a whole different breed. We're absolutely seeing the best in North America that is on that pro cusp.
Okay, we gotta go back to A, dude.
All right, let's go. Yeah.
All right, keep going back, keep going back. Okay. Okay, that way, go back up. We gotta rotate. Go.
Wait.
Go. What?
What? Yo, I thought you were Breach.
Why do I have an AK?
Where are we?
Wait! I think we're back home, folks. I think it's time for Fragadelphia. Folks, welcome back in. It is finally time. We have waited over a year for this moment. I think we all have. It is Fragadelphia 15. We're back on LAN. We're back with over 30 teams here in the middle of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My name is Upmine, joined here by Sully. And folks, Fragadelphia B-Stream is live.
Dude, I mean, I'm a little confused as to where we are, but I'm happy to be home. It has been
We thought we were in that other place for a second.
It felt too realistic for a second. I was like, I thought you were Breach. I thought I was Jet. What's going on? But yeah, it is amazing. It feels so good to be back home in the land of Counter-Strike. And I mean, to bring it back with Fragadelphia, you guys know the vibes. Hashtag save NACS. Feels good to be back. Feels good to be back.
Feels real good to be back, folks. And for those that have been following Counter-Strike for the past year, we have seen purely online setups. And one of the teams that has popped up throughout that time just so happens to be Bad News Bears. They are here in the building. Party Astronauts, same thing, in the building, playing out their first round games. And of course, you guys are here for Counter-Strike. But I would like to say, at least, if you guys want like the more serious vibe, yes, the A stream is going to be it, but we're still going to provide that same entertainment, that same Counter-Strike fun all day, every day for 3 days coming up. And our first game just so happens to be two teams that I guess you could say they've been around for a minute. Davenport, not too much. Davenport University facing off against Detonate. It's a team from Maine facing off against a team from Advanced. And Davenport University, I mean, you see it. They are a collegiate team, but they are a collegiate team that have been making a whole lot of splashes throughout this last year. Yeah,
I mean, these are two teams that are at the top of their game in their respective divisions. Obviously, ESEA, Davenport coming from the ESEA main side. They're currently at a staggering 9-1 with the only loss. I think the big surprise in that loss is it was to like one of the other dominant main teams. So not too big of a surprise there. But then you go back to Detonate, and it feels like this is the team that's like, okay, I should be on them to try and make a huge splash, at least in Fragadelphia. Currently 8-1 in advance. Their only loss is to a 5-6 advanced team. So interesting on that front, but it clearly seems that they have the experience, right, in the likes of Swan from Premier. There's a lot of things going on for this Detonate side, but on the same side, Davenport, they're like one of those upcoming teams that you're super excited to watch.
And both of these teams have actually a massive test coming up after this round. So not only do they get a close BO3 today, but also in the next round, Big Chillin' seems to be waiting if they can make their way through to that best of 3. We actually do have that playoff bracket to show you guys, a quote-unquote playoff bracket. This entire weekend is a bracket. So let's actually take a quick look at it. So we have quote-unquote upper bracket. It is double elimination. It's best of 3s throughout the weekend. Let me say that again. Best of 3s on LAN all weekend. We love to see that. But yes, of course, at the very top, we have none other than Bad News Bears winning up in that first seed. Most likely, we're going to see a whole lot more of them throughout probably like tomorrow or day 3 or something. But watch out for some sick games throughout this first round. Over on the mainstream, X13 versus CLG Red. Here on stream, of course, Detonate versus Davenport. A couple of kind of cool ones, I guess you could say. Big Chillin' versus Novas. I'm checking around more. Look, there are a couple of really good games throughout this first round. Most of them, of course, you could tell that are Pug squads, but that's what makes this game that we're actually casting up next, Sully, just a little bit better. Both Detonate and Davenport University, yes, call them onliners, but they're full rosters. All 5, all 6 are on LAN.
I mean, it feels like you say onliners. Literally everyone here
is an onliner.
Basically an onliner. Everyone has had to go through the gauntlet that is online NACS. And now that we're back at LAN, you know, there's no more excuses. My ping sucks. I'm playing on West Coast against East Coasters. This is it, man. And it starts here today. And like you said, double elimination. Even if you lose the first best of 3, you still have a chance to keep the run going. And we've got 32 teams, and only one of them walks away with the prize pool. So Fragadelphia, it's where it all starts, baby.
32 teams, and not only just 32 teams, but we also have setups for each and every one of those players.
Sickest.
Throughout the weekend, we have tables with the team names labeled on them.
There you go.
And you can see, right across. I just want to look at this, dude. Just leave this camera up for the rest of the day, honestly. We're going to be seeing a lot of Buzzlin' Bees throughout at least the day, but I would like to say, at least throughout the next 5-10 minutes, we're going to see more reactions. We're going to see more pop-ups. We've actually been in a little bit of a technical, I guess you could say, delay in the last hour. We're still figuring out. Look, it's LAN, dude. I mean, we just made it. There's always going to be issues. There's always going to be a delay. Welcome back to LAN. You guys already know what's up. But let's talk just a little bit more because, Sully, we've been out of the Valorant. We've been out of the CS scene. We were over at that other game. Look, man, we didn't mention it earlier, but we were another game all year. And honestly, I don't think Counter-Strike has changed all too much. I think we've been gone from a game that still feels like home.
Yeah, I call it like riding a bike. It never gets old. It never gets old. It always feels like home whenever we come back. And it feels really good to be back because we've got a new map pool in.
Yes, we do.
Ancient in. I'll be quite honest. I'm a little nervous for Ancient because I feel like that meta still hasn't completely like developed and like what's the game plan. I know a lot of teams like to take mid control. They like to fight towards B ramp with the mollies on the CT side. I'm excited to see what both these teams bring. I know that at least for the Davenport side, you mentioned it earlier, they're running that 6-man roster, kind of varying that 6-person depending on the map. So that's going to be super interesting to watch. And I mean, we've had like this whole thing in the past, like do 6-man rosters work? Well, so far for Davenport, I mean, they're what, 9-1? It's working pretty good, if you ask me.
It's not all that bad, but it's not only that. Davenport, they've also, I mentioned the splashes throughout the other days, but at least throughout ESEA, throughout things like that, they've been playing around advanced, they've been playing around main, and it's not exactly something that you see all too usually with a collegiate team. But now on the other side of the server, it's funny because Detonate still has 3 players I have no clue of, but they're killing it at the current way, Sully. And Davenport, from what I used to end up watching them, in terms of their actual map pool, I want to see them go back to at least some of the more straightforward maps.
Yeah.
We ended up seeing a little bit more overpass from them in their old pool, some vertigo actually in the middle. So I don't know if we're going to get too spicy throughout this specific set for Davenport, but I actually do have some news. The first map is going to be Inferno, so a bit more of an advantage to Detonate. They've been playing that map a little bit more. But Sully, I'm not going to leave you on that type of topic because we don't really know too much about the team specifically. We are here on Frag. We do have over 30 teams. It's tough for us to try to catch up, folks, but we can tell you for certain there is Counter-Strike coming up in just a little bit. Sully, any mechanics-wise, have you actually played Counter-Strike in this last week?
Dude, I played like... everyone probably knows this. I'm in school right now. It's been a month since I've even touched a video game. I've been doing personal essays, college apps, all the whole shebang, basically.
You could,
And every time I go back to any FPS, I can't do it. I suck at CS:GO now. And, you know, I'm okay with that because I am a caster. Silver caster over here in both games.
Look, now that we're being transparent, and we can be very transparent with you guys. We can be open with the public out there, and we're sure. Yeah, this isn't gonna get leaked out at all. Yeah, I haven't played Counter-Strike in like 5-6 months. No, but I ended up playing this whole last week. Literally throughout like the last week and a half, I've only been playing Counter-Strike, and I'll tell you this much, dude. I think Counter-Strike is
it's a harder game.
It's the harder game.
It's a different beast.
Absolutely.
It's
the harder game 100%. I'm having such a hard time actually grasping some of the mechanics of this game because counter-strafing actually works in this game.
I know, right?
Actually counts. Actually works. Folks, enough about the mechanics. Let's actually talk about the maps a little bit. There's not much context to actually be had about this, but a couple of surprises considering how the teams used to play. Yeah. So, Davenport, literally a team that I said played both Vertigo and Overpass. Time has passed, yo. I think I'm a bit old. Vertigo and Overpass both being banned by Davenport. Inferno or first map?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Inferno is just like a really homey map for like almost every team. Like when I think back to it, and to be fair, like you're right, we haven't been in CS for quite some time, but this is a map that I'm like, okay, everybody's got to know how to play it. Both teams are really strong. I think Davenport might have the slight advantage. It's been in their map pool more consistently recently their ESEA main. I think they're like 3-0 at the moment in terms of their 10 games they've played so far. So a very comfortable map pick. But then you say on the other side, right, for Detonate, it's another comfortable map. I mean, they're currently 8-1 currently in advance. They had to have played Inferno a couple of times. I think their only loss is on Inferno, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there, but it's a very good map for both these sides. But then when we go to Nuke, that's where I think things might get a little bit interesting because I don't know if that's where Davenport have played too much all this season.
Yeah, Davenport, I mean, mainly. We're talking about Counter-Strike. We already know how ESEA is. We already know how teams are. They never play Nuke. They only play like Nuke like once or two times a season. So if anything, we're not actually expecting anything too much out of these two teams on this map. But one thing that I can say about Davenport in terms of their history, we ended up having Pog a while ago alongside Kojo on that map. Dude, they played, it was this collegiate tournament, and Kojo, he was the opera that you just kind of expect on Nuke, free-flowing all over the place, not just focusing up on ramp, not just focusing up on the outside. But the coolest thing to me about Davenport is that, at least in terms of those two players and their personal dynamics, we ended up seeing them on most of their individual setups, at least together. We ended up seeing them going together on most rushes. I don't know if that same aggressive playstyle is actually going to come out on the CT side of Nuke this time. I definitely don't actually trust that. But it's funny, though, because we have another player with a little bit more experience, Swan, coming in from Polar Ace. I just want to tell stories, dude. I think at this point, I just want to be like, all the old, like these players, they used to play on these maps, they used to do this. I think you can kind of tell where I'm going, folks. I actually don't know if these players are currently good on a single map out of the others, but before I do.
Before, you know, like way back when that other game didn't exist, we would have
known. Right?
We would have known. But
I feel so rusty.
it feels good, though. Like, the rust is starting to come off. I'm excited to see Swan because if you guys don't know, he has a lot of Premier experience, and he's probably one of those more high-caliber players when it comes to the 10 players in the server. So really expect a lot from him. Now, you look on the other side, obviously, of course, you want Kojomo, the other op, to really play lights out him. And I feel like an op at least on these 3 maps that we have, one being Dust 2, being our 3rd Decider map, Inferno being our 1st map, and Nuke, it feels like there's a lot of opportunities for Ops to get a lot of impact, right? You go outside on Nuke, you take it towards the banana side over on Inferno. Feels like that's where we could see a lot of the big flashy plays coming out from Kojimo, and on the flip side, same thing for Detonate, if they can pull out the double op or whenever they feel like it.
Yeah. A little bit of a comment, by the way. We currently have both streams sitting up on cams. I think everything is paused at the moment. So we are waiting for the pit to start going a bit more. We're waiting for this game. We actually have all 10 players in the server. So it could be cool that we actually start up in a bit. But we could just kind of chill back and look at things go. Sully. Tell me a little bit, actually. Let's talk about what was the Frag of old, because, folks, welcome on in to Fragadelphia 15. First of all, if you're tuning in to the first time. This has been an event that's been going on, I think, for the last at least 10 years. Of course, based out of Philadelphia, and of course has been hosting up some of the most premier East Coast Counter-Strike tournaments. I would like to say Counter-Strike Global Offensive had a couple 1.6s here and there, but in terms of the actual history, every player that you guys watch, whether it be in Valo or most of the professional players coming out of the North American scene, treat Fragadelphia as Bandcamp. Bandcamp is the one thing where people have stories from. You know how you could say, like, hey, remember that one time in Bandcamp? It's the same thing. It's the same thing in Counter-Strike, where it's just like, hey, remember that one time in Fragadelphia? Everyone has that type of story. We're trying to make some of those memories here today, folks. But what I'm trying to say is Fragadelphia is what would be a sacred ground here in Counter-Strike. And throughout this weekend, you guys are going to be watching a lot of the younger players throughout the scene. Of course, players that you guys haven't watched throughout the online scene in the last year. If you've been disconnected at all from Counter-Strike, this is a great way to get back in. Yeah,
it's where kids become men, essentially. I mean, you think of all the players that have gone through the in quotes, band camp and how far they've progressed now in their careers. Yeah. It's interesting to think that you're looking at this screen right now in front of us, and you might not know anybody that you see, but in a couple years, or maybe even a year right after this event, you might remember them for the rest of your career.
Who won the last tournament again?
Oh no, it's some guy with cat ears. I can't remember.
And what did he end up doing? Like
going to like some random European country in a different game?
Yeah. Just some, I don't know. It's just some random shenanigans. Version 1, by the way, folks. Vanity was one of those players. Zeppa there. Folks, I think we finally have Counter-Strike. Folks, we're getting into it. Detonate versus Davenport University to kick off Fragadelphia 15 here on the B stream. And we're starting off already. Most of the players from Detonate over towards that A site.
Yeah, you leave just Silas over there towards that B site to play that anchor. But look how aggressive Detonate are getting right off the bat. They went for apps control. But here we see the side of Davenport Esports going straight up the mid side. But it is collateral damage. A smoke towards this arch lane. Unfortunately, Detonate's still able to find those frags in a 4v2. And look at this crossfire. It is deadly.
Oh, no!
It's a little awkward.
No! No, Delta! Come on, he can...
Oh! We're one round in!
One round in!
One round in and we've got a knife.
Let's go! Welcome to Frag, folks. Swan started it off strong. Okay, look, that crossfire should have worked.
That should have worked.
It should have worked.
Someone whiffed.
Someone.
Not pointing any fingers.
Not at all. 0 fingers whatsoever. They still won the round.
Yeah, and the thing is that Davenport, because they get the bomb down, they're going to be able to afford a decent buy, right? You see Pug pick up the AK, a MAC-10 for Slow-Mo, who's probably, on the contrary to his name, not going to go slow whatsoever. He'll be looking to try and accelerate straight up, but I like this change, at least from Detonate. They're not getting as aggressive. A really nice deep nade to buy for a little bit more control, and you see all that util on the banana side. So much map control being fought out for as a nade goes into clear. Slow-Mo looking for that space.
Oh,
but Silas, he's good to find the bomb as well. He's got an opportunity, and Silas, deep into banana already, has got full control, and the rest of Davenport, where do you try and reroute?
Where do they even try to go? They're still trying to fight up in the mid side. Trying to see if they can get a contact, but again, bomb fully in view over in Cat. We have one person right on it. That's Silas around the corner. You have to have Suitor.
They're reclearing. Oh, Silas.
Oh.
For a little more. Okay, well, that's just the power of the up. That's like, what, 1,800 extra? Bebo does split the AK. 2 off the Galil. Now he's got a 1 versus 2. He doesn't have the bomb, and that's probably the most tricky thing in this situation. But the better rifle here in this instance, long range against the MP9 and Galil, he honestly stands a chance here if he's able to pick out a 1v1.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's isolating himself. Released off from 2 different angles. Again, just needs either Silas or Suitor to break up this crossfire, but it's not going to happen. They have Bomb and Cat. It's Bebo now. And again, a loss here for Davenport. Just kind of break the bank for another like 2-3 rounds. But in he goes, finally over towards that back line. Silas thinking about it. I think Bebo making a bit too much noise, but he actually does get the kill at the Silas. Suitor, the headshot angle! Has it into 7 HP, differentiating the 2 players, but it's Detonate that takes the round.
Right, but you have to think is that's Detonate's full buy. That's Davenport off of essentially a bomb buy, right? Now you look at Detonate's economy,
Right.
They are going to be down horrendous, right? AK bought up or AK saved, the M4 is going to be forced up, 3 MP9s. This is not a buy or a situation you want to be put into. You're hopefully moving into this third round with almost all the guns you came out with from the last one. And here, Davenport, it's an eco round for them. They've got Tech 9s to try and make a fast play. But nothing just yet as they work again. They're way up towards the T-side apartments. And, well, Delta 9 here with an MP9. We saw how much damage Styles was able to get. I think up close and against these Tech 9s, he might have a bigger advantage here as it looks like Davenport looking for an early burst in the A apartments.
It's going to be a real quick one over towards Balcony, but that's if they even want to commit. The MP9s. Easy grind. Ghosty with an easy 2. Silas and Delta 9 with the last few. And we got the music going. We got the jams flowing.
That's the vibes. Davenport, it will be their full buy back, and we were talking about how on this map in particular, it feels like you can get a lot of impact with that op. Kojimo, right off rip, 4th round in, he's going to bring out the op, and we'll see if he's going to be able to find anything. It's a full buy for both sides. Well, Detonate actually electing to save and hold on to those 2 MP9s. Davenport University, where are they going to take the op? That's the question. Kojimo, just looking straight down towards mid. See if he can get anything, but look at this duel early on. A beautiful flashbang coming out, and that's going to be an easy 2-piece already. That's full banana control, essentially, as it looks like Davenport need to reroute and work their way back up towards the mid side.
It should have actually been 2 clean kills, but full flashed. Suitor ends up going down, but big setup. Stack on the flashes deep into banana, but now Davenport running out of options, going back over towards the mid side. You gotta love Delta 9 for this type of cross. Sitting up in a fast rotation spot, could go back to B at any point. But D9, that first contact, he has the right positioning and everything. But Kojo, a good peek, a good kill, and now this is a massive opportunity for Davenport trying to make their way through. It's Swan in 1. Only going to be able to get one. Make it 2! Around the corner, Kojo. This has to be the easiest kill to get with the MP9, but no! Oh. I just want to say the ball's on Swan to even go for that. What a god. Kojo now, 8 HP. Up around the corner, 1 shot would do it. Ooh. The slow peek into short, but Silas is there on time. 4-0.
I mean, that just has to be heroics. I mean, entirely, at least from Swan in the middle of sight, to have that MPI, to have the confidence to take those aggressive fights. It was almost a perfect execution coming out from Davenport. Molotov goes into the deep pit. They understand the crossfire being held, forcing the 1 player in deep pit to swing out wide. They find that pick, and somehow, some way, Swan is able to lock it down there. Davenport University, an near perfect round, falls apart at the very end for a 4-0 start. Now we see both ops being pulled out early on. Kojimo with his and Swan with his respectively. We'll see where they both elect to take it. But Davenport at this point in time, they still have their full buy, but they need to get some sort of result here early.
And you can see Davenport picking and prodding away early to try to fix some of those issues. Double molly over towards mid. Oh, Swan! Simply can't make his way out, but a great counter molly over towards the mid side, stopping any sort of push. And now Detonate, as finally everything subsides. They have their own pieces of utility. Oh, Davenport lost their chance there.
Yeah, and with Swan retaking that mid control, it's going to give the information, at least to Sutter, that there's a player, or a couple at least here towards the banana side. He really needs to get this time right because he is the only player. Silas has made that rotation after the contact is put on towards that A side, and well, it's not a full commitment. We still have a minute left in Davenport. Just dancing around, smoke towards that arch side, and well, there's a late lurk going up towards the banana area. If he can find space, deep smoke goes in, at least towards that B side, and well, Davenport's still not committed as they make their way up towards late now.
Oh, double flash in, Ghosty! He had the off angle, but he misses on the first shot. Silas, however, still able to get one. Slow-mo. What a peek. What a kill. D9 still ends up catching up another one. Big from Suitor. This actually makes things a bit possible. D9 and Suitor still thinking about going back. Pug and Kojo, they can't breathe at the moment. They just don't have any money. D9 and Suitor still going into this and could make it a little bit more dangerous, but Hey! I didn't even
love
know that song was a thing. What?
You gotta love the song, the
Hey!
crossfire. It's a perfect hold there for Davenport University to have that retake set up, the op playing deep in towards that back line of pits. One player in the middle as they walk out that smoke. I mean, there's nothing you can really do. An op and a Galil taking shots at you. There's the first round for Davenport, and because the economic situation that Detonate have put themselves in, with losing too many players here or there, it's more majority gonna be an eco round. Obviously, we still see the full buy from Swan. And the rest will work with what they've got. But, I mean, this is a big round for Davenport. If they can find this one, reset their opponents, and, well, that's not the best of starts as Swan, aggressive in the apartments, is going to gain full control.
I mean, cheeky from Swan to even watch that angle.
That's a lovely nade.
Might have went a little bit deep, though. But he did end up catching up the wall. Decent damage done. You still have at least 2 of the Terps over towards Banana and Swan. I swear to God, just 10 seconds ago, he was over towards apartments, rotating fast back over towards Banana, but at the same time, Davenport taking advantage of that dynamic. Only one person here, and it's Silas over in pit.
Yeah, you gotta love that call. You know Swan's pivoted back to the B side. This should be the weekend A side here, but Silas, he's the only one with a rifle, besides that op, of course, and he is still sitting. He hasn't even struck. They've got no idea. Silas from underneath is gonna strike and take down one. Can he find a second? No. Bebo, with no bomb out whatsoever, is now going to put himself in a 2v1. And with Swan playing so well in this round with this op, it's going to be a miracle clutch for Bebo. He's got to find this first, and then to pivot back around to lane, which is already being watched by the op. It's timing that he's got to play with.
Yeah, Delta 9 thinking about it. This peak could have some good timing. Bebo stuck up against the corner. That flash would have actually gotten Swan. But Swan pushing, same thing with D9, and look at the timing. Swan and D9 peeking out at the same time. Easy 5th round back for Detonate.
Yeah, super difficult position to be put in. I think 100% if you're Davenport. I mean, that cross-fire being hell is almost picture perfect coming out from Detonate. It's a 5-1 start here as Detonate. That was the round where if they lose, they almost get fully reset. Now they've got a economy to play with. Davenport with pistols once more. I think we're going to see a much more aggressive take, but that op, Swan, so critical, is going to take it early towards the B side. He's actually pivoted back onto B side. He's going to let Silas get this control. And in the meantime, we see kind of this contest from both Detonate and Davenport. It's a battle for the apartments, a battle for Banana, when Detonate have so far been winning every single duel there.
And Davenport has to run a train. They finally end up getting their smoke set up, and that's perfect. Smoke in the middle of short. They just want that bomb down, but D9 still watching the crossover towards the back of sight. This is where it can start getting scary for Ghosty. Still sitting up in the middle of mini pit. Nobody actually clearing him out, but in comes the retake back towards short. Ghosty. What a shot. 2 more players on site with Sec 9. And Kojo goes down. So decent attempt. Still getting that bomb down is great, at least for their economy, but 6-1. It's really just chipping away.
Yeah, I like it as well from Detonate, is that they don't overcommit to those fights. They know that they 100% have the better guns. They're up against Tech 9s. They don't elect to swing in. You don't want to take that risk where, right, your player back towards mini pit is going to swing out and get deleted by a Tech 9. That would be a rough situation to be put into. But so far, so good, at least from the side of Detonate. Davenport, they had a little bit more success later on, at least to start things off. It felt like maybe there's some momentum, but, you know, Detonate, they haven't unlocked so far. You get that op out, and so far it's been so good.
Yeah, not too bad, at least from Davenport, although they do only have a single round. I just kind of like some of their execs. Good smokes, right spots, decent timing. Can't really take anything away from them. Detonate, they just have the right spots at this point, or the right angles early on in terms of the frags. But Davenport, in terms of their pace, looking not all that bad. Where do they actually want to go this round? Last round we ended up seeing at least one linear push out with the Tech 9. Before that, actually on a gun round, no real split at all. These guys in Davenport, although we're talking about Inferno, they don't like going default.
And it's their map pick as well, so see if this continues or if this holds true. Deep smoke towards the top of Banana will at least deny a little bit of control from Detonate. This is the first time we see Davenport early on really get control of Banana, but they haven't gotten the full control. In the meantime, they're working a different part of the map. Kojo from downrange is going to find one on that op, and well, now that's given space at least to the rest of his team to take that control, and it forces Detonate even further back, but they can walk away. They've set up these default smokes, one back towards Moto, one towards the archway, setting up almost for a B split through CT spawn. However, Detonate, they know they've weakened over this B bomb site. They know players have rotated, and this is their chance to strike.
And in comes the pop. First molly down into Grave, and that's already enough. They don't need a second molly back over towards E-Box whatsoever. It's just going to be an easy push in. 2 players over towards CT, still trying to spray away. Davenport running out of utility here, Sully, for this post plant.
Yeah, a lot of utility still for Detonate. 2 pop flashes, a Molotov available as well to clear out back corner if you want to go for darker. New box, but slow-mo. There was Smoke is going to find one. It's a Delta 9. Now, you might be looking at a save situation, but Suitor, a huge frag to kick things off with, but it's going to have to break down this crossroad. You've got 1 towards the banana side, 1 up close hugging the wall, and Plug is there for the trade. Silas doing what he can. It's impossible here, as I think Ghostie's just looking for any damage. But, I mean, you look at the economy of Detonate, you really don't have much. It's been Davenport who've been in control, at least financially, for most of this game.
Consistent plants are always good. Ghosty trying to chip away at that economy a little bit. He's going to go down. Yeah, Ghosty had full HP there. But after that one shot, he's going to go down in a heap. And like you said, Sully, it is kind of funny. They had that full loss bonus going for a minute, so can you really be surprised if they still had money to buy? But Detonate keep going down 3-4 players each round. Now they end up with USPs. What is even their buy at the moment? They're forcing.
Swan's going to go for that op again. I mean, they've been able to make it work with these MP9s, right? You get up close, fight in the apartments with these MP9s, get close to Banana. They're just as effective as a rifle. Delta 9 heads up towards the Archway Cubby, and again, we see an aggressive stance over here from at least Detonate. Maybe looking for something early on. Swan solo towards that B side. This is similar to what we saw in the pistol, a 4-1 setup. Davenport taking their time, working the apartments at the moment. A little bit of space control up towards Banana, but where is the exec heading? The bomb's still not decided where exactly he wants to go just yet. As Davenport, good control here. I mean, Vivo's waiting for a flashbang, I'd imagine, at least coming out from Pug to set himself up. Smoke goes out towards apartments. He's looking for control, and there's that flash, but he doesn't swing fully. He's in a crossfire, and he could go down here.
Yeah, Bebo backed out of that. He didn't end up seeing anyone in that right angle, so he tried to help out back up towards Arches, but there you go. Kojo still getting that kill back onto D9, so you still have to maintain 3 players here. Swan getting a kill, actually all the way on the other side of the map. And look who's about to peek. Silas. Oh, this is it, huh?
This is perfect.
This is really just it. He gets this kill, should get information, but he doesn't get the kill. But he certainly has the information. Bomb going back. Swan has the cross.
Yeah, Swan is in a perfect position to deny, but the smoke goes down. He's got to get the timing. Flashbang in as well. Gonna find the shot, going for a second, a little bit risky, no scope as well to try and connect, but man, Bebo on 19 HP. This is a round where Detonate started with just MP9s and a handful of rifles, where now they've got a real chance as HP low, Kojima's got to come up huge.
It goes the pop. Suitor's already out, 2 players out. Kojo, there you go. Last person remaining in a 1v3. And he decides to go for the crouch peek onto Swan, and Swan hard peek in the angle, gets him. 7-2 back, and an incredibly important round for Detonate because, again, it was their force buy. They could have gotten reset. That would have been Davenport back in this game.
Yeah, that was a huge crossfire held by Detonate over towards mid. I called the pop flash. I was like, okay, pop flash swinging towards under Arch, and you have an opportunity, but then you look on the left side. Immediately as soon as that flash pops, one person's playing counter flash, and they instantly swing as soon as the contact's made. A great setup there from Detonate to find the 7th round, and will Davenport still the money to buy up as we see Detonate again with that op. Swan is going to get aggressive towards Banana, and a chance to find 2, but no. Not even to land a tag just yet. He's going to go for a little bit more nonetheless.
There you go, Swan still peeking. Nobody trying to ride swinging.
Wow.
Silas is in right now. Oh my word. All too easy. Suitor and Silas stacking up the frags. Davenport University. They thought they had a chance.
Yeah, I thought they did too, but I mean, collateral damage, 3 players taking that peek down towards Banana. It's a perfect setup, and well, Davenport back to pistols. We've seen this 3 times so far in this half, and here's the 3rd opportunity to maybe convert. Ooh.
Hey.
We all heard that. We didn't see it. We heard it, and we seen the HP bug down to 70. A little unfortunate. Well, I love this. You're farming for money here. You know they're on an eco. You're just going to crunch Banana. It's perfect here from Detonate.
That's all you would have really wanted from the round. They end up utilizing the SMGs there for some bonus too. So the cash really building for Detonate. They should be fine, at least for the rest of the half, or at least for the next 2.5 rounds. So yeah, should be fine. Davenport University, though, Sully, it's that same situation again. It's almost stereotypical. They're on the verge of a reset, and the rest of the half surely can't go their way if they end up losing out this round.
I mean, Detonate have been holding on to two SMGs, and then doing it here again. They know they're in full control. They're getting aggressive.
No way again?
The kills, and well, that's an easy two-piece in. They know they've corralled them. Banana control is theirs. Mid control is theirs. They know the contact is back towards mid. It's a calamity for Davenport.
Yeah, Detonate has actually started bugging a bit. That little play over from mid, going down mid, it was an early flash, early smoke. Could call it pugging. But it's a one-track mind for Detonate. Wanted to crunch up Davenport in one last desperate attempt, but in we go. Still a 3v3, just off of that one shot from Pug. Davenport thinking about going back to A.
Yeah, I love this from Suter, though. I mean, he's got a Molotov and a smoke to work with, so he can cause a delay if contact comes up towards B, and you look on the other side of towards A. Two players posted up, Swan with that op, and it's going to take some time here for Davenport to re-clear these angles. I mean, they could be literally anywhere. They started this round with minimal control, so to take this time, it'll be a little bit of a read back in here for Davenport, or at least for Detonate, apologies, as they will have the information. So I'll see where the hit is coming from. Op still in hand for Swan. Smoke is starting to dissipate, and well, it's coming to a critical point where you need to figure out when do you want to strike.
Where are they actually going with this util, though? They only have 2 smokes. Swan has that full moto angle back, and finally, they're actually going to smoke off moto here alongside Arches. So Swan has to push up towards site. D9 still feeling a little bit fine. He's down on 12 HP, but he's still able to get the kill! Kojo! You couldn't see him at all for a good reason. Gets Swan right through the barrel. Now Suter left now in a 1v1 against Kojo. And Kojo still playing around, goes back towards Moto.
And it's not even planted for him, and that's the thing. He's expecting Suter to try to read into the fact that it's planned for pitch. He's taking the fight.
No, he
Kojo,
missed!
a missed shot. He's dead with the second repeat to take it back. Davenport have a third round, and it's a late execution. It looks so good for Detonate. We saw again that deadly crossfire with the Moto up, and then back towards Pit with the rifle. It was a perfect swing, but somehow Kojo coming up huge with a shot from the box, and that's going to nail them the third.
Kojo, take a bow already. Those 3 kills. I mean, 2 of them ended up coming through a box. What can you even say? Good stuff from Kojo. He needs to hold on to this AWP. It almost seems like the reason that Davenport is able to push through to some of these rounds. But there's actually a bit of a default. Attention over towards Banana, but a double setup in apartments. When do you ever expect this? Suter! He's still able to get 2 in mid. Bebo actually breaks up the 2 players in apartments, but it's just all too perfect. 3 players hold down the line.
Yeah, Swan is taking the reposition as well, knowing that the player should be coming out of boiler, but look on the other side of the map. Kojo's there with the bomb and the op in hand. Silas can't do anything but sit and watch. But you look at the util that's left over. There is simply nothing left here, at least for the side of Davenport, as Detonate have got everything to work with. Flashes, smokes, and mollies.
It's going to be a chaotic retake, but that certainly makes it a little bit easier. Double over towards construction. But now you got to focus up on the rifles. Bebo still trying to sit actually back over towards Banana, but look at this position, Kojo! How is he sitting here?
He's on him! He's on him!
Kojo just stood on top of Swan! Kojo is still living!
On the stick.
Fuse finally going in!
Stick.
There's a smoke!
No!
Kojo missed the shot! It went through the man's legs! It went through the man's legs! Oh. Dude, what was that?
What actually just happened? Dude, he literally, he was like, all right, I'm going to boost. I'm going to boost myself. Wow,
Boosting pots?
That's hilarious. Detonate, well, you know, a little bit of a strange round. They still managed to find 10. Davenport's still sitting on a third. They do have enough money at least to buy once more. Now we see an actual boost for the first time. You know, one that's intentional. Detonate is not going to commit to it nonetheless. A huge fight for Bananas. A lot of utils thrown out. But Silas for now is full control with that deep banana smoke. Now we see the rest of Detonate. There's the boost coming into effect, and we'll see if Swan in this position, he surely can find something.
Oh! I was thinking that flash would even just hit Swan. But even then, neither one of the players ends up getting a clean shot. still that fight back over in Arches. Arcade keeps going up, Delta 9 goes down. Swan with 2 straight missed shots, and he's gonna go down to the gap in Apartments. Now there's 2 players in Apartments looking to drop. Ghosty is stuck in a 1v4 essentially, actually making a 2v4. Hello Silas over towards Arches, he's able to get 2, equalizing the round. His HP is shambles, but oh, he runs through and he gets the info. Slow-mo. Slow-mo took down his teammates. Slow-mo, the option select is all too good, isn't it? Davenport University, Sully. All they needed was one round to make their way through. It's 10-4.
Yeah, I was thinking that at least the play would have come a lot sooner, and you know, you get aggressive through a smoke. It's not something that's expected. At least the smoke goes down and you're on low HP. You expect that player to sit behind, but he doesn't get aggressive and detonate. They don't lose the round because they got a little tricky towards the end. It's Davenport. Oh, on the cross, he's going to get tagged by Kojimo in this last round. And while you look at the buy for Detonate, it was nowhere near good. But a 5-7 kill from Suitor is going to nail one. Ghosty taken down by Bug towards top mid. But Silas getting aggressive timing.
Again?
He's on his side, and he's still able to find another. 4 versus 3, but HP is low for 2. He's safe. Oh, no way.
From the top rope. Silas trying to get a kill on the Bug through the smoke. On top of the smoke, actually. That's actually a decent start. Swan, although down to 18 HP, still has a scout and still has picks to take. Ends up taking 1 down lower on HP. That's Arcade down to 30. Still has an op to try to work with in terms of utility. And is way better than what we've actually expected. Now, more unfortunately, you do have a molly, but it's on the other side of the server. Thus why you need 2 players actually watching up that B site.
Suitor was here alone. Swan is going to make this rotation, but he only has a scout. And he actually has 2 players that are within that 1-shot range, and there goes one of them. They still don't know that Suitor's up top, and this is a good opportunity. But Delta 9 with all this info, with all this noise, he knows what's up, and well, that could be the closer. Arcade left in the 1v3 to try and clutch things out. He does have the op, but he's got his knife out, and well, there's an 11-4.5 for Detonate. A star-studded one at that, as Davenport had a little bit of momentum, but it started to fall flat towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, what can you really say about that half for really Davenport? We had at least the 2 players you can see on your screen still doing well, still fragging out. We're having most of the players actually from Davenport still fragging out well, but it's mainly just the ends of the round. We're starting to see now more Detonate starting to dictate the pace of these rounds. Early util. Just getting early map control is all that they really want. And it's that empty pressure that Davenport just keeps taking on at the early round. Then later on the round, they don't know any of the positionings. They end up popping out late. Could describe that specifically for a couple scenarios, but still Davenport, I'm not feeling some of those takes, Sully. They just didn't commit too much.
No, it felt like a lot of Davenport. Like you said, it was a lot of aggression coming up from Detonate early on and getting that early map control, especially in the crucial choke points of Banana and the A Apartments. What are you supposed to do if you are Davenport? If you don't have that control, you really cannot fight back. And in those instances, Detonate having that early map control allowed them to play the rotation game. That's why we saw so many like 4-1 stacks in the mid round. And that's what allowed Davenport, or apologies, Detonate to get a lot of early momentum. And now we see the score was wrong. Now it is fixed. Detonate here on the T side, and they're going to split towards the A side. Never mind. They slowed down into a default here as Bebo, looking for that early spot, is going to get a slight tag onto him. Nothing major, but contact has been made, and you see a 4-1 stack similar to what Detonate was running in the pistol round. But so far, Detonate are not making any moves on their T side aggression. They're taking their time to clear these apartments.
This is more or less the setup that their opponents had at that pistol round, and now we get to see it again here for Davenport. Double crossfire over towards the middle of the site and over towards mid, same thing. Kojo trying to take out one more, but it's Silas actually getting the contact. Now in, we can actually see the crossfire starting to work. Good idea, though, from Detonate. Go on back. They already know that there's 2 players over towards A. They got to double back. Pug still on his way out over towards CT. He's going to use the smoke early.
Yeah, he's got a nade and a flash here as well. Smoke goes down. He can take this fight, but he's got to win these duels. He only gets 1. 1 for 1 is good enough for now, but they lose a big part of that kit. A flash and a nade would have been big for this retake, and now 2 versus 2. Arcade alongside Bebo, 1 with the kit. USPs in both hands as we see an early dink. I love that. Get aggressive. You know where they're coming from. Silas takes that fight. Now Bebo struggling to get it done. It's 12-4 here for Detonate to kick things off in the second half.
Yeah, Silas. Not exactly a player I've seen too much of in the past. I'll be completely honest. I think my boomer mindset is coming over me, but Silas, man, 23 kills thus far in this game, and he doesn't actually want to stop. He picks up the AK early.
And you know,
if that's even the right economical decision for Detonate, but look at
I was gonna
Silas's
say.
cash specifically.
Yeah, his cash, I mean, the counterback is Swan Alex. Okay, you buy an AK, I'll buy a sawed-off. They're looking to maximize the economy. We have got 2 MAC-10s at 600 a kill. Sawed-off is 900. So Davenport, you're hopefully not going to feed into those 3 players. You maybe want to go down to the rifle of Silas instead, so they don't get as much cash. But we'll see what happens, as Detonate have, at least what we saw in that first, have been very, very prone to just using those MP9s and those MAC-10s that they had saved up from Davenport and trying to just farm them on eco rounds. And we'll Detonate. This is an eco round for Davenport, so we should expect nothing less than a 13th here. But a scout pulled out early, and Kojomo trying to get an early engagement. Gonna miss the shot as Sutter stepping back in fourth. Now Ghosty's gonna have to try and re-aggress and maybe get a little bit more space with his MAC-10.
Quick flash over towards the
There you
mid-side,
go.
and there you go, Swan. Holding W, getting himself a kill off that sawed-off, and there's still one more in balcony that could be the target of either that shotgun or MAC-10 around the corner, but C9 simply wasn't ready, and Bebo! What a shot at the Swan! Still 2 more players in the middle of sight, Kojo covering it off. Oh no, Ghosty was losing his mind for a quick second there, trying to check for Bebo too, and he's still able to get a third. Where did Ghosty even come from to get that last one? Suitor had no chance. He was down to 12 HP. That was a 2v3, essentially out of nothing.
Yeah, 2v3 and now 4v5 as a player takes the lead, but it's a costly round for Detonate. Thankfully, they do pick up the AK. I don't think they got the Galil back. No Galil in their hand as Davenport University. They forced a little bit into that last round, so we're not going to see the strongest of buys here, especially with Kojo electing to go for the scout. If anything, I think we might see like an upgraded pistol here or there from Pug at the very least, but Davenport University, a tricky position he put in. I call this score the death score. When a team hits 13 rounds and you're struggling to even find 10, and at this point 4, you lose this round, you give Detonate the 14th, and you lose the next, and it could just be lights out here for map 1. Detonate, Swan again here running the sawed-off, 2 MAC-10s bought up for Ghosty and Delta, but we do see the upgraded rifles for both Silas and Suitor, but we'll have to see what they can make of it, as the Eagle from Pug looking to go lights out, but he has to back away immediately off the contact.
And again, only person here. Oh, definitely efficient getting that first one. Swan actually missed out on the first pump. Still the kills they needed. Delta 9 trying to cross back.
Dude, Swan.
Swan.
he's going to keep on going. Are you sure this is CSGO? I feel like I'm watching Fortnite.
See, that is a you joke.
Yeah, that is a me joke.
Yeah, well done.
Because I actually, unironically, I am good at Fortnite.
Unironically, you're good at Fortnite. How good? How cracked?
You know, I was champs like 3 seasons in a row, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah.
Let it be known, 17-year-old caster plays Fortnite.
That's... yeah, everyone could have called that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, everyone could have called Detonate winning out of 14th, and indeed they did. Against the Pistols of Davenport or against the Deco. They didn't exactly invest too much cash anyways. But this was the situation that you were mentioning, Sully. Essentially 1 rifle round away, 1 reset away from just throwing away the entire map. Now it is just thin ice. Detonate still going up. They actually invested. They actually wanted to upgrade most of those AKs to try to push for this last round.
Love this.
And out of all the rifles in the server, it's the SMG that might be going crazy. But over in mid, in comes finally the take. It's Kojo and Arcade with the first contacts, but Arcade will go down to poison.
Oh, slow-mo right behind them, but that MP9 at long range isn't going to be effective to take down Suitor early on. But that aggression, that's what we want to see from Davenport. He gets some space, he gets some info, calls out the play that it's going towards that mid side, and those 2 players falling almost instantaneously on the Detonate side. Now slow-mo with no util except for this single flashbang is going to have to try and do what he can to cause the delay. We still have a rotation from Pug possibly with his own util kit, but for now, Detonate, that seems to be the name of the game. Get that info, trying to work back. Smokes go in, but a counter back, and this is lovely. Davenport are buying time, allowing for rotations to come in, but we still have a minute left. Detonate are not committed. They draw up that utility and they say, okay, we're going to cut noise and we're going to back away. We could be on the B site or we could be falling back to A, so they force them into a 2-2 split to make this a little bit more doable.
Exactly. They just expended out their B side util, but still plenty of stuff to go throughout on A site. We still have to watch out for Kojo. It would actually be up that first contact, but Detonate running out of flashes. Just going to fling them right over site. In we go. Kojo on the front side, missing out of the shot. And the AK still going up, still holding W, and Bebo holding 2, making 3 back. The movement from Bebo. It's going to keep Davenport alive.
Yeah, certainly, and especially holding on to 3 weapons. I mean, you pick up the op as well, pass it back over to Kojimo. It's looking good here. Davenport still on track to possibly pull some sort of comeback alive. I mean, Detonate still with a massive lead at 14-5. It is going to be rough nonetheless as Davenport up here for Kojimo as he is going to, again, take a very aggressive peek down towards this mid side. Molly out early to try and deny that space, but he's up against Swan, and he's not ready for the peek. Still Kojimo able to find one towards alt mid, and now we see Detonate slow down as soon as that pick comes into play. They thought Swan had them covered.
Would have thought so too, but at this point, Davenport, they're going to stay throughout these back choke points for a whole lot more time. Early contact peaks, Detonate not taking advantage of any of it. Double over towards Banana, but that is the complete opposite of what you would have wanted there for Davenport. Both players go down to that crossfire. Ball should be able to go down any second now, and again, it's more tragedy. Suitor through the smoke, taking down Arcade. Now we have to think about a save here at 14-5.
Save is, I don't think it's in the cards anymore because Kojo is, it's a manhunt for this guy. They know how powerful this op can be in his hands, and I think you're electing possibly to go hunting, and yeah, that's exactly what they're going for. They know the damage has been dealt. They know the economy is not good here for Davenport as well. Kojo missing a second opportunity to find another kill. Well, he's going to get it on the 3rd. And well, now Davenport, you're hoping that Kojo holds on to this as Detonate find themselves up 15-5 with such a strong advantage at the moment. Economy is abysmal here for Davenport. Oh, and there goes
after
the
time.
op. No way. That's the worst way to go out.
That is DEFCON 5 worst case scenario. They're still going to buy the op. I guess it is that important. So Davenport, 3 pistols, 1 op. Or 2 pistols, 1 op, 2 rifles, and a hope. Let's see, 15-5, we could be closing out our first map here at Fragadelphia 15. And actually early on, Detonate, this is the slowest that they've been, realistically.
Yeah, I like it as well because you know the stakes, at least in this round. You know that more than likely Davenport are going to try something crazy, and well, they have done it here in the apartments. 3 players stacked up, you're just feeling out the map. No pressure anywhere. It's noise that's been cut here by the Davenport side that might leave a lull for Detonate to exploit, but I mean, Pug is playing so deep back towards Coffins, he is going to get smoked off here eventually, and well, Molly's going to go in here from the Davenport side to try and cause a delay. It hasn't pulled rotations, but it is pulling Detonate over towards B. They are able to get a little bit of space, so I'm going to take a little bit of damage off that Molotov, but the AWP still in the back, over towards Dark. Smoke goes out again for the full execution, and well, now we see it.
Yeah, Molly back over towards Coffin, and yes, they inch up, and yes, they're able to get that early kill on, and it's the most important one for sure. Pug watching the angle. Slow-mo, still alive, needs a couple taps, runs away from Dark. There's one on top of barrels. Kojo actually pops out and gets the kill into Silas. What a kill from Swan. He actually 180s and gets it, and still a second kill. The Deagles had a chance for a second there, but now Arcade and Bebo combine on just about 99 HP, trying to make their way through 1v3. Arcade has a chance. 25 seconds. No bomb down yet. Arcade goes back, gets the kill on Swan. Bomb finally going in. Missed shot from Arcade. Still alive at 63 HP. But now he has no clue where these players are. I think he might have heard one over towards Banana.
Yeah, you should expect the second to be kind of in the middle of sight, and they're not taking a crossfire. Peek goes in, and I think no matter what, this swing from New Box would have happened. 16-5, Detonate in full control of this map from start to finish. Take things up 1-0 on the map pick of Davenport.
And it is kind of unfortunate that we even had Inferno going into this because Detonate, they've been playing Inferno all season, and it's not just all season. They're currently 4-0 actually on the map, so it did make kind of sense. Folks, Fragadelphia 15 continues after the break. Map number 2 between Detonate and Davenport kicking off in a bit. Again, my name is Upmine, joined here by Sully. It is LAN action here in Philadelphia. You don't want to miss the rest of this best of 3.
Yes, nice shot, my friend.
Cheaters ruining your plays?
I have eyes on the enemy.
Bad servers stopping your shots? What you need is ESEA. Advanced anti-cheat to stop cheaters. and the best servers around, all with 128 tick rate. ESEA, the best way to play CSGO.
Watch this. Edit, click share, Discord, share.
What? What the fuck? That's insane!
Smoke.
Favorite game of all time? Ever? Counter-Strike. I love Counter-Strike. It's always gonna be my favorite game. I just have so many good memories.
Valorant.
Counter-Strike. I mean, I've met my husband through Counter-Strike. I've traveled the world to places I never thought I'd be because of Counter-Strike. Met some amazing people. my teammates were bridesmaids to my wedding, lifelong friends. I am just so thankful for Counter-Strike.
Like World of Warcraft, I guess. Like I grew up playing it, so I guess I gotta say that.
Favorite game of all time? I mean, it's got to be Counter-Strike to some degree, right? But outside of CS, because that's the cheap answer, I gotta say The Elder Scrolls for Oblivion.
Welcome on back, folks. It's Frag 15, and we are in the middle of yet another best of three, our first best of three, actually. Detonate versus Davenport University. The first map wasn't exactly all too action-packed, but that's purely because one of the teams is just that good. Detonate doing pretty good thus far, Sully.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit of an understatement. They were kind of, lights out the first half. The second half, I felt like they were in full control. A lot of it came down to aggression. I think you mentioned in the pregame, right? We were talking how we expect Kojimo to be aggressive. We didn't see that. We saw that all throughout, though, from Detonate, taking control of Banana with lots of utility early on. And the thing is that most teams, when they fight for that early util, they like to just back away. Like, why waste that util to take that control and then immediately peel away? We didn't see that from Detonate. The whole time we saw Silas getting aggressive, Suitor getting aggressive apartments, and pivoting around that op that Swan had. Beautiful Counter-Strike coming out from Detonate. Now moving to the second map, that being Nuke, it is their map pick, so you expect Detonate to come with even more force moving forward.
I would like to think so, right? At least in terms of Davenport, we haven't seen too much from them on Nuke, period. So lots of question marks for this game.